Hello everyone, welcome back to another School Bus of Tech video. I apologize if this is coming out a little bit later than I anticipated. Um, had a few things that I needed to put together. Anyways, the last video I talked about a little bit what I was doing, introducing the importance about computer networking and what I was trying to hope to accomplish with these videos as we continue on and moving forward. So this one is actually our first video, and it's actually a little bit more in detail about computer networking. One of the great things about computer networking is, one of the two highlights is that it allows ability to share and communicate information and resources. And some of that may be really easy for us to understand, but I felt that it would be a great opportunity to learn a little bit more about the networking portion. So not only does it do that, but it also may be shared in the same geographical location or around the globe. And so all the information, all the different media outlets, it has caused an opportunity for everybody to be united and share their opinions and everything. And granted, it's a great opportunity to show how much growth and differing opinions are for each and every person around the world, and how we can learn from each other and take the best things and apply them into our lives. Moving forward, the internet, right? We use the internet every day, but some of the highlights and one of the things that I've come to find out about, or the easiest way to understand the internet for those, I mean, of course we use it all the time, but to get an actual, like, a visual of what the internet does, it's an abstract location for electronic devices. So actually, when we say the internet, it's really not like a specific location. It's basically like not like a cloud, but well, yeah, because cloud services are used for different other things. But in a similar, later on, I've got another PowerPoint in which will show a visual image about it. But all that information it's an abstract location for electronic devices. It allows electronics to have a common meeting place. And then all the information that is accessible through the internet is actually stored physically by a client or server. And these are differing depending on businesses, depending on who has it, what they do, what they have it set up for. And so if we were to draw up kind of a little bit of a visual of what the internet may look like, some of the things that it may look, and this is just a regular, like, really basic mapping of what the internet would look like if we have it. That's what this is right here. Basically, if it's a basic map of what we use for the internet. So right here we've got the homes on either side. We've got them, as they come to the residential area, and then from the residential area, when you request that information, in order to have accessibility to the internet, you have to have a service provider. That's what the ISP is for, is an internet service provider. So once you request an information, and then from there it goes and combines into all the different locations so that I can find the proper location where that information is actually stored. And so it gets routed into there, and then it tries to find the best, quickest location to where that information is stored, and then pull it for you so that you can actually view it right there in your home and on your desktop. So what are some of the daily communications that use the internet? There's quite a few things out there that use the internet, or at least use accessibility in order for, like with cell phones, it's data, and there's other things, but they all, in order to communicate with somebody really quickly and from whatever part of the world, there's a lot of different communications that are using the internet and other services to get that across. So we've got things like texting, social media, collaboration tools, which are actually like real-time interactive videos, like Skype or one of those kind of things. You've got blogs, you've got wikis, and podcasting. Those are actually just audio recordings. And then you have peer-to-peer, or which is P2P file sharing. So all of these ones may be kind of common, maybe available, like used, every so often. You've got the do-it-yourself kind of little follow postings and different things. Those are kind of like similar to blogs or other kinds of things. So these are just some of the daily communications that we use the internet for. So think about what kind of communications that you use every day. Think about what it is, how often are you accessing the internet, or how often are you accessing at least a networking way in order to communicate with others that may not be directly within your geographical location, but in other areas. I also wanted to explain a little bit about peer-to-peer sharing. Peer-to-peer sharing is a little bit different. It's actually, what it does is it gives you the ability to share files without having to store and download them. And then the other second portion of it is that when a user joins a P2P network, they join that network by installing a P2P software. So let's say, for example, hey, or like Bluehost, which is one of Bluehost and whatever domain websites there are out there that you can, register a domain and use that. What they're doing, or even WordPress, which is what I use for my blogging. You don't have to, download the entirety of the programming and everything, the software that goes along with it. What happens is they give you a certain accessibility for it, like you get your credentials, like a login or something like that. In some ways, you can consider I guess you could consider Amazon or other things like a peer-to-peer sharing, because you get a login and information, and you gain access into, their services so that you can make your purchases and other things like that. But most of the time, peer-to-peer sharing are kind of not all the time. Sometimes it's not very popular because there's a lot of different things that come up with questionings of ethics and copyright issues, because there are some things out there that or some services out there that people use peer-to-peer networking so that they can share, movies and other things that they don't have, they don't have a physical copy for. So essentially, peer-to-peer sharing is actually a good thing when used properly, but of course, like many things, there is negative and there are some cons about that. And so, but moving forward, that's just the gist about computer networking, or at least a little bit more detailed about the peer-to-peer, sharing, the communication that we have, and a little bit about the internet. So I hope this was helpful in getting to know a little bit more about the networking, and I hope this, if you enjoy it, definitely share, let others, be aware and know about it. Thank you guys so much for your time, and you guys have a great night. Oh, honey.